and welcome back to a Gaming Hobbits playthrough of the Core Worlds Solo Play rules, Sector 5, the Core Worlds. So, cleaning up from last playthrough, I forgot to give the AI more tokens on the Galactic Senate and on the Mystic Brotherhood for gaining these cards. So we'll take care of that momentarily. We move the round marker from round 8 to round 9. And as we enter the sector, you see this sort of stack of cards, white rectangle. That means that we shuffle our discard into our deck if we want to. This allows us to get cards that we gained from Sector 4, which will likely help us get Core Worlds and Prestige cards in Sector 5. You'll also notice that we get the full 6 actions for the last 2 rounds in Sector 5. Let me reset my energy to 0. For our event, for Sector 5, we have Command Ship. Each player must immediately lose either 2 energy or 1 action point. So I guess we're at 5 action points, actually. Energy is far more valuable in the last round than actions are. So we lose 1 action instead of losing energy. We've shuffled our discard into our deck, and now we draw 6 more cards since we're hanging on to the Sentinel. So 1, the Flame Troopers. 2, Coordinated Assault. 3, the Warbot. 4, Prince Aaron. 5, the Beast Rider. And 6, for a total of 7 cards, Grand Strategy. Nice. Alright. That's 7 cards. We have only 1 unit in play in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 worlds, so we can draw an extra card. We draw an Energy Surge. That'll be nice. So, let's see what brings us in the Galactic phase. I'm doing the phases out of order, actually, so oh well. When you get experienced with this setup, it's almost easier to do things out of order sometimes, although in certain cases order matters an awful lot, actually. So in the Galactic phase, we remove the Speedbot because it has an energy token on it, and that was in Sector 4. We put it back there. The Goliath gets an energy token on it for all that's worth. And we refill the deck, we refill the universe from Sector 5. Now, we skip the spaces adjacent to the player and add to the first clockwise space from the AI that isn't adjacent to the player. So, we get Ra. It has no abilities, but it gives you 8 VP. It takes 8 fleet and 8 ground to take over. The Eidolon, or Eldolon, or Eldoian? The League, anyways. Prestige, 9 to draft, 4 victory points. When you draft this Prestige cards, you may immediately place one of your faction tokens on the galactic order of your choice. So this could be nice, if we can afford it. Zeus, +1 Empire point for each starfighter in your empire. 2 plus victory points. Quetzalcoatl, 5 plus victory points, 1 empire point for each robot and vehicle in your empire. And one more. Science Guild. The draft card is, this card is -1 for every core world in your war zone. 3 victory points. Only 8 to draft. So we have 11 energy from our planets. We're going to play the Energy Surge. And let's see, how much energy does the AI planets produce? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, more than us. So that Energy Surge got us 2 more energy. So what we want to do is we want to keep the AI from gaining cards that will give it too many victory points, which basically means that we don't want it to conquer worlds. We especially don't want it to conquer Ra. If it conquers Zeus, it's less of a problem. We would probably score more points off of Zeus, but it would definitely score less points because it doesn't start off with a number of starfighters in its deck. Same thing for Quetzalcoatl. It doesn't have as many robots and vehicles in its deck as we probably have right now. So that is something to consider. So if we deploy units, we're going to lose Ra, since Ra is within 5 spaces of the AI. So what we probably want to do, or at least what I want to do, is I want to find a way to get over to the Goliath and the Science Guild. Because I figure that if we can gain the Goliath, we can discard the Herald in order to get the Goliath into our hand for next turn. And if we can draft the Science Guild, we can provoke the AI into moving and drafting this prestige card, since it's within 5 spaces, and it'll move past Ra that way. So I think first goal is definitely to draft the Science Guild, and secondary goal is to get Goliath. We need to zero out our energy and zero out our actions, something serious. So my plan is to take energy loans and get us over to the place where the Science Guild and Goliath are. We've got 13 energy right now. Together, Goliath and Science Guild are 15, with technically a 1 energy discount on Goliath, but only if we can pay 7 energy up front. That means that if we want to do anything, we need to take Goliath first. But that's probably not possible because we would have to spend 1 energy to do it. If we took the energy loans and we went here for free, but then we'd have to spend 1 energy to go here, get Goliath, and we'd get pulled here, then we could pick up this prestige card. But that requires spending an extra energy to move here. And if I discarded 2 cards, I could get us up to 14 energy, but going back to 13 energy means that we won't have the money, so to speak, to get here. So that's a naughty problem indeed. Too bad we didn't get a second energy surge. So I'm thinking I should backtrack at this point. Admit that I'm going to lose the Goliath, and let's pretend that we didn't play this energy surge in the first place, and we go back down to 11 energy if we don't play it. That means that I can spend 1, 2 energy to move, and spend the rest of the 9 buying the Eidolon League, and the AI would have to be frustrated because it can't get another prestige card, and it can't get a unit card with an energy token on it. it can't get a card with an energy token on it because both are out of its range. So it will just move 1 to 3 spaces. 1 to 5 spaces. In this case, it would move 1 to 3 spaces because that's what's available and will be free after I make my move. So I think I'm going to prefer that because it'll get me 4 victory points and the AI will not get anything. So I'll spend 2 energy to move there. We'll spend 9 energy to draft this. When we draft it, it goes directly into our tableau. Prestige cards do that. Other cards don't unless it's a world card. World cards get invaded, though not drafted. So we put this into our display, our war zone. We get pulled into the location. We spend 1 action and we spend the rest of our energy all the way down. Question is, how far do we move the AI? It's a good question. So I'm going to vote that we move it as far as possible so that the next available card, well, actually the next available card would show here anyways. But if we move it here, we have a better chance of getting it to move past Raw, I think. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, the first card would go here because the Goliath is not going to be there next round. So let's go to the last penultimate round after we decide which cards to discard. And I'm just going to discard everything except for the grand strategy. So everything else must go. So we move our round marker to the last round. We reset our actions up, but remember from the event card of the command ship, we need to lose 1 action, or when we get energy, lose a little energy. So we're just going to lose the action. Moving on to the galactic phase, we discard the Goliath from play. Thank goodness. I guess we don't want the AI to get its hands on it. And now that we've done that, what we want to do now is we want to put energy tokens on what's left over, which could be very bad for us because that means Raw is on the table. And we refill 2 more cards. We get Indra, +1 empire point for each tactic card in your empire. That's not worth much to either of us. Oh, so this would be the 4th world card. So because it's the 4th world card, I can choose to pass on it and go for a non-world card, in this case a prestige card, which I want to do because I want to be able to, well, not give the AI Raw. So this is actually turning into more of a shopping trip rather than a large-scale invasion of the core worlds. But oh well, such is the way the cookie crumbles. So we're going to pass on Indra. We're going to get the Galactic Senate. -1 draft cost for every core world in your war zone. And that costs 8 to draft. I think it's nice. And our last and final card, possibly, is another prestige card. The Merchant Alliance. Draft cost is -1 for every core world in your war zone. Again, 2 victory points. This might turn out to be a shopping trip after all. So, oh, and I forgot for the League to put a token on anywhere I pleased. So I'm going to add my token to the Galactic Senate. So we draw up our cards. So we draw 6 more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe we really should go after shopping, because I don't think we're going to conquer very much with all of this stuff. Not unless we've got... we could try to conquer Zeus, I guess, but then... Actually... Yeah, if we try to conquer Zeus, the AI is just going to take Ra. Because Ra now has an energy token on it. There are no tactics card available for it to take, so it will just take the first card with an energy token on it within range, and that's Ra. So what to do? Do we just lose Ra? Do we just admit defeat on that point and go on with our lives, or do we do our best to prevent the AI from getting any points at all? Or at least from getting much points. So my vote is to find a way to get over here, draft the Science Guild, and have the AI try to draft a prestige card in response. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll grab the Galactic Senate, which isn't ideal, but at least it'll be 3 to 3. And then maybe we can try to do something with the world, because it'll be out of range of all of them. We've lost 1 action point, so this is going to be interesting if we can even pull any of this off. So we've got 11 energy from our worlds. If we want to spend energy we can spend an exact amount of energy, because I don't think we're going to come up with 15 energy to buy both the Science Guild and the Merchant Alliance, which I do wish we could do. We're going to have to be satisfied with the Science Guild. Yes. We don't want more energy at this point, because we wouldn't be able to... Actually, this time, the Science Guild does have an energy token on it, and if we can get all the way up to 14 points, we can do it. So let's play our Energy Surge for 2 energy. Let's discard 2 cards for 1 more energy. I think we may have to conclude that the AI is going to take Ra after all, because we've got 11 energy from our worlds. If we spend 3 energy and then 8, we get an energy token back, which means we're passing with energy left over, because we can't do anything else with it, which means the AI is going to make us suffer, because it'll take another round and it'll just grab Ra. So Ra may be a lost cause here. Anything else we could do? And we can only move 3 spaces, so even if they're free for moving through the center, we can't go here and then grab that. So we can't move 4 and then grab the Merchant Alliance safely. But I believe we can at least take Zeus and hope for the best. I don't think there's anything much else we can do at this point. But do we even have the action points necessary? Or do we even have the energy necessary to do all of this with? Let's contemplate. We've got the cruiser, which will give us 7 of our fleet's needs. The cruiser costs -1 energy to deploy because of Taurus. And Taurus says your star cruisers cost -1 energy to deploy, so that's 6 energy points. We can play the retired flying ace, and the retired flying ace is, I've forgotten in the past, a hero. So he's -1 energy, so that's 7 energy altogether. We want the Promethean cyborg, so he's also a hero, so that's 3 energy, so that's 10 energy together. We want the Galactic Grunt, so that's 11 energy. So I think what we're going to do, and we'll need 1 more energy to take over the world. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to discard 2 cards, the Energy Surge and the Type Formation, in order to get 1 more energy to give us 12 energy to do exactly what we want. We'll deploy 4 units and have 1 energy and 1 action left over to take over a world. So let's see how this turns out. So our energy phase, we get 11 from our planets. We discard 2 cards to get 1 more energy. So we play the Cruiser for 6 energy and 1 action. And we get a token. We get a token on the mining coalition. We play the Retired Flying Ace for 1 more energy and 1 action point. We play the Cyborg for 3 energy and 1 more token on the Galactic Senate. And we play the Galactic Grunts 1 and 1. So we've spent 6, 7, 10, 11 points, which brings us down to 1 energy. We spent 1, 2, 3, 4 actions. We place a token on the Galactic Senate. We place a token on the Mining Coalition. We have 7 from the Dreadnought Cruiser. We have 1 from the Herald. We have 2 from the Flying Ace. We have 3 from the Cyborg. But he boosts. So anyways, so what I think we should have done, because I forgot that the Promethean Cyborg would need an energy to activate his ability, is that we play an Energy Surge instead of discarding 2 cards, so we get 2 energy instead of the 1 energy, so we have 2 energy left over. So instead of the 1 energy left over, we have 2 energy left over from our deployments. We have the Cyborg, which gives us 3, and we spend our 1 energy to boost the Galactic Grunts up to 2 to give us 5 ground strength. We spend an additional, so that's 1 energy for the Cyborg's ability, and 1 energy for invading, and 1 action for invading. So that zeroes us out, and it gives us Zeus. A good thing we zeroed out our actions, because Zeus has an energy token on it, which gives us 1 energy right back. So 1 energy right back. And we have Zeus in our display, our war zone. We discard all of these, and for the heck of it, I'm going to garrison the grunts on Zeus, even though there's nothing else to be done. And we'll go on from there. The AI reacts to us conquering this world by trying to find a tactics card. It can't find a tactics card, so it takes the first card with an energy token on it, which is Ra, which also has an energy token, so we tally up its points on its board. It gets Ra, and we are done. I'm passing, so we are done. The AI does not take an extra turn because I've zeroed out my actions, and we are done with this game. Future Ava here to tell you that we have done things a little wrong. So when I deployed those units, that was one action and the AI should have reacted immediately, and it would have reacted as it did by taking raw. But what happened next then when we took over that planet is that it would look for a tactics card that would be in range, but it can't find any, so it goes to the first card with the token on it. And unfortunately for us, that's Quetzalcoatl, which gives it 5 plus some number of points, and another energy token. So we'll peg that energy token all the way up to 10 points. So looking at my points, that's 1, 3, 5, 9, plus 10 is 19. And this is 2 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 19 plus 9 is 28. Plus 1 more is 29 points. And that's just for cards. We haven't yet counted the tokens on the cards, on the Galactic Order cards, I mean. So no one has a majority here, so we cancel each other out. I just won't count them. I have a definite majority on the Galactic Senate, so I score 3 points. I have a definite majority on the Mining Coalition, so I score 1 more point. So that's an additional 4 points for a total of 33 points, which is not too shabby, but I think the AI will show us up. So the AI score, not counting the galactic cards, is 1, 2, 3, 6, 11, plus 1 for a vehicle that it got is 12, plus 8 is 20, 25, 26, 27, 37. What the AI scores here is this cancels out. The AI is in second place here, so it only scores 1/2 point per token. So that's 1 point total on this card. But it's got 2 points total on this card. So that's 3 points altogether. So that's 37 plus 3, that's 40 points. And the AI has beaten us by 7 points. That was a pretty disastrous final turn. And to tell the truth, ever since the last round in Sector 4, and even including the first round in Sector 4, we just made mistakes, or at least I made the mistakes. But we were playing on normal mode. No, beyond normal. We were playing on full mode with the events, with the full scoring on the cards, with every victory point, every energy token being counted as a victory point instead of 1/2 of a victory point. So we held out. We just didn't hold on well enough for a game that was hitting us on hard mode. So that's Core Worlds with the SoloPlay rules. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, even if we lost, or at least I lost. And I hope you join me for my next one with the Terra Mystica SoloPlay rules. Thank you very much and have a good day.